What if Mr. Beast ran for president? We removed the Papa Meat video.
48. YouTube's #1 content creator, Jimmy Donaldson, also known as Mr. Beast, announces a historic bid for the presidency of the United States. From here, America's biggest YouTuber joins a crowded presidential field for the White House. Throughout the past several years, Mr. Beast has floated around the idea of running for president. Those close to him have also mentioned his White House ambitions. But what would a Mr. Beast campaign look like? How will it operate?
We wouldn't know because it would be 11 years away. Here's the problem with Mr. Beast becoming president. Number one, it would never happen. Number two, he can't even run. How old is Jimmy? Like 25? He wouldn't be able to run for a decade.
In this video, we're going to find...
So how his campaign would look or who he is then, I mean, in 10 years, though. In 10 years, could Jimmy win the presidency? If he got that, 10 years, if he got that famous, say he scales on the level that he is right now in terms of popularity, there would be people that would vote for him. Now, though, I think he would win. I think Jimmy could win one city, but the majority of people voting aren't going to vote for him. He might pull a young audience, but what would his political stance even be?
In this video, we're going to find out. Subscribe and leave a comment to let me know what you think. Today, we're going to base Mr. Beast's platform and chances off of historic precedent and predictions.
Let me ask you that about being the greatest YouTuber ever. What's next? Because I was listening to your Rogan, and I swear to God, I thought this guy should be president.
Oh,
no, I'll say
that would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah, that'd be a casual side quest. You know, just running the United States. Yeah, that'd be cool. While I'm filming Squid Games 2.0.
Yeah, the only thing
political
is
aspirations.
Yeah, I would love to.
From Jimmy's past expressed disdain for climbing the political ladder from local office to national, we assume he spends his time up until this point continuing building his YouTube empire and other businesses such as Feastables. As stated,
I just don't think he would be a good president. Bro, I met Jimmy. Jimmy's a chill dude. I doubt he knows anything about how to run a country. He probably knows about finances and like whatever affects him very greatly, but I don't think that he could step up to the plate and just be the president.
In an insider article, Mr. Beast plans to run for president in his mid-40s. By the time he's in his mid-40s, the nearest presidential year will approximately be 2048. By 2048, Jimmy will reach the constitutional age of eligibility, being at least 35 years old and already meeting the 14-year residency requirement, as well as being a natural-born citizen, having been born in Kansas. Slightly less than half of the states in the country allow candidates to use nicknames on the presidential ballot. In these states, for more name recognition and for brand cohesion, we assume Jimmy would run as Mr. Beast. Other states that prohibit nicknames, Jimmy would obviously have to run as Jimmy Donaldson. It would make both poetic and logical sense for Jimmy to announce from his hometown in Greenville, North Carolina, a town he never left as his current base of operations. In the present, Mr. Beast works with the town's mayor in monthly calls on using the Mr. Beast business to help bolster the town's economic growth. It would be symbolic to announce from a town whose economic success he's played a significant role in, and especially if his home state of North Carolina solidifies as a swing state in the next few decades, having been just decided as recently as the 2020 election by just about a percentage point, making the state competitive for Democrats and Republicans in 2024. Inevitably, because it's politics, Mr. Beast's public opinion will drop once he jumps into the presidential race, remaining apolitical.
Dude, his public opinion would tank. That's why him being president would just be bad, because if you're a president and you're the best president this country has ever seen, half of the country will still hate you. People don't like presidents until after they've gone 20 years in the future. If you're a great president and you do your job fantastically, in your job career, everyone will... Somebody said, come visit me, I'm in Belmar. Buddy, I'm not coming to fucking Belmar. You just started following me 10 seconds ago. I'm banning you. If you're a president and you run for office, you effectively have half the country hating you, right? I mean, maybe not half, because some people on the other side might be like, oh, actually, he's doing a decent job. But for the most part, people are just party driven. They're just going to say you're a shit president if you're not the side that they're on. It's like being a fucking fan of a sports team. 10, 15 years down the line, they might look back and like you, but in the moment, people would hate Jimmy.
Political and nonpartisan is something that Jimmy's been very conscious of for a long time. His manager Reed commented on advising Mr. Beast in 2018 to avoid the use of guns in his videos.
And him and I talked about it a lot in the early days. Is like,
but he has guns in his videos.
We got to stop the gun stuff,
right? Like there's a format of that on television, and there are ads that play before that video.
But a 18-year-old kid in the middle of nowhere, you know, shooting stuff at random was like not something people were going to sponsor.
Another case of this has been shown in a podcast from Lex Friedman interviewing Mr. Beast. When asked about his opinions on censorship, Jimmy deferred the question.
With shadow banning and censorship and all that kind of topic, especially if you see it in other platforms like Twitter, do you think about the role of centralized control of which information isn't or isn't made available through search and discovery?
I'll be honest, I never really think about it. So,
you just try to make fun.
He might not honestly think about it, but also Jimmy is very unopinionated. Jimmy almost never shares anything that he ever thinks about if it has two polar opposite viewpoints. If you're Mr. Beast and you have 150 million fucking subs, almost anything he says could fucking trigger somebody to hate him, right? So he's motivated to basically just be a very tolerant person to every single opinion ever.
Videos that
I'm kind of more in my own lane, but it's not like that I don't just specifically think about that. I just like a lot of stuff in general. Like I'm just kind of in my own lane, thinking about my own stuff.
One of the reasons why he has expressed wanting to run is to work on bridging our political polarization. Like many Americans, Mr. Beast's political views can't be labeled Democrat or Republican in the two-party system.
Jimmy talked about defending about the LGBTQ when defending Chris on Twitter. I think that's a bit different because he was entirely prompted to talk about Chris because the amount of people that were speaking on it. And Chris is effectively one of Jimmy's lifelong friends. So there's a need to in that stance.
Get a few clues on what a Mr. Beast presidential platform could look like. Based on Jimmy's work on Team Trees and Team Seas, being pro-environment would obviously be a plank on the platform. So will social progressivism, which parallels Jimmy's public support for the Black Lives Matter movement and the LGBTQ community, supporting his childhood friend Chris's transition. Economically, he's voiced support for some form of universal basic income or stimulus.
Okay, shut the fuck up. I don't know, let's just give all Americans $1 million. That should fix most problems. Okay, so what I'm gathering from this tweet here is that Jimmy is supporting universal-based income. This has nothing to do with UBI. This is him just saying, okay, let's just give everybody money. This isn't UBI. If we actually, this is a joke. If we played all of this out and we gave every American $1 million, inflation would skyrocket and we would all be fucking homeless.
Or stimulus. He's interacted with the 2020 presidential candidate Andrew Yang in the past, who made these ideas mainstream. It also makes sense as he's built a career off of giving money. He has stated that he wants to show he can't be bought. If I had literally $0 in my bank account and I was like, vote for me, I feel like that's a pretty good campaign thing. These progressive policies mirror the lean of young people, including the iPad kids who comprise many of Mr. Beast's audience. They will ease in and comprise the majority of America's electorate and will be part of his winning coalition. But the point is, by the time Mr. Beast runs, the youngest of his current audience will be of voting age. Mr. Beast's Olympics video also...
Yeah, if Mr. Beast ran in 10 years and all of his subs voted for him, he could probably win a lot of states.
Shows what his foreign policy could look like, such as what countries he would recognize if elected president. Of course, that's not without controversy. It's been called a geopolitical nightmare and cursed for the countries it recognizes and doesn't. There will be several key advantages Mr. Beast will enjoy, but also disadvantages he'll suffer from. Among the list of advantages includes, obviously, he can self-finance. Jimmy has strong financial backing. He stated that he would make giving away money a part of his campaign. Because Mr. Beast can self-finance his campaign, he's less likely to listen to the special interests, including political action committee.
I don't know if he would be able to self-finance his own fucking candidacy, dude. Trump could better self-finance his own candidacy than fucking Mr. Beast. You know how expensive it is to run for president? How expensive is it to run for president? The Obama campaign in 2012 spent $400 million. Like, Jimmy doesn't have that.
And lobbyists. An electorate tired of corruption could find this refreshing. And there's precedent to this. Billionaires before, such as Ross Perot, most notably financed their own national campaign. However, Perot didn't enjoy the name recognition that Jimmy has right now and will likely increase in the future, which leads...
Why is it so much? Dude, at the end of the day, a campaign is a lot of PR shit to make you look good and your other opponent look bad, and just getting your name out there. Getting your name out there and then convincing people to vote for you. If you're able to convince people that you're the best candidate, even if you're not, you don't have to be the best candidate to win. I wish it was that way, but it's not. The best candidate always never wins. The best candidate is never the two dickheads that are standing up on stage. There's always somebody that's better and would be a better president. They just don't have the pool or the capacity to become president.
Me to my next point. Loyal following. Already, Mr. Beast has more social media followers than many former US presidents and sitting senators. His YouTube channel has been watched by more than 10% of the world. In terms of viewership and following, no other creator comes even close. He is undoubtedly the most influential content creator ever in YouTube. Jimmy's campaign can bring a large swath of traditionally apathetic voters into the voting process. Like other celebrities such as Taylor Swift, Jimmy already wields the influence that can increase turnout and civic engagement with a social media post. These first-time voters who believed in Jimmy before he entered politics will follow him there. Tension.
Yo, he does have a lot of pull. If Jimmy ran 10 years from now, he knows a lot of fucking famous people that would promo him for probably nothing.
Mr. Beast will enjoy the luxury of having traditional media and the internet on his side, but
yo, deadass, he could probably do it. Just cause, like, dude, the presidential debates and just the presidency in general has gone so brain rot. Like, when are the debates? I know there's one soon. When are the debates? 2024. June 27th. Yeah, in like 2 weeks. When we see those debates, it's gonna be like, they're gonna go on stage and Joe Biden's gonna walk up there and they're gonna ask Joe a question. And Joe's gonna start answering it. Then Biden's gonna go, or not Biden, Trump's gonna go, I don't even ask him that question. There's no point in asking him that. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know how anything works. He doesn't even know where he is right now. He's a dumbass. Go get him some ice cream. Somebody get Joe an ice cream sandwich. He has no idea what's happening. And me, I'll run the country again. I know I was recently incriminated for like 34 charges. That doesn't matter. I can pardon myself once I'm president.
Or especially the latter. It'll be a big thing on the internet for sure, because it's possible.
And then they're just gonna start shitting. They're just start shitting on each other. It's gonna be the whole thing.
That they could elect the first YouTube president. It was the internet that propelled a then Senator Barack Obama into the national spotlight.
You know what they call him? They call him Sleepy Joe. He doesn't know he doesn't know where he is again.
And helped in his run for the presidency as he used the internet to build a grassroots donor base. It was traditional media's laser coverage of celebrity Donald Trump's campaign.
Trump's old too. They're both old as fuck, dude. They could both die. They could both die today.
Helped him win as well. A lot of debates and other events in the presidential election process involve playing to the audience. Jimmy is a natural entertainer. He knows how to communicate his message most effectively, which is key to a country seeking new leadership. Outsider.
And he speaks very simplistically. He's good at that. He's got the third grade speech down like Trump. He could talk to anybody. Anything Jimmy says, people will understand. That's part of the presidency as well. You got to be able to appeal to everybody.
Another advantage for Mr. Beast is being an outsider. Historically, the country has had a hunger for anti-establishment figures that can shake the system up. Mr. Beast, with his lack of traditional political experience, can be used as a strength as voters will look to him as an anti-career politician candidate. Someone who could be seen as the man of the people, as he hasn't been in Washington for decades and still remains incredibly grounded to the people throughout his philanthropy. Among the list of disadvantages, Mr. Beast running as an independent or his own party candidate has a strong chance of being locked out of the presidency if the country doesn't abolish the electoral college system. Historically, independent as well as...
They're gonna need to get rid of that. If there ever is a third party that gets votes, they're gonna have to get rid of that or this country's gonna be fuck, dude. The electoral college is so fucking stupid because it only works with two parties. Once you add another party in, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work because you need enough. How many do you need? Like 200 something, 270 something. You need the majority to win, right? And you need to reach a certain amount to win. But if you have a third party that takes 5, 6, 7 states away, they're not going to reach 270.
Third-party bids for the White House have failed. In recent memory, we have not had an independent U.S. president. Unless you run under one of the two parties, your chances of winning the presidency are slim. Even former President Teddy Roosevelt, who failed to secure his election nomination as the Republican candidate, chose to run as a third party under the...
Yo, Teddy Roosevelt was a badass though, dude. Teddy Roosevelt, that man stood up, got shot, and gave a 35-minute speech.
Bull Moose label. Even a former president failed to get a sizable share of the electoral votes.
I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
Age could also be made an issue in the campaign. Voters might think Mr. Beast is too young at this point in time. Older voters who are less likely to know of Mr. Beast or pragmatic young voters will write Mr.
Bro, that also annoys the fuck out of me. That old people only vote for old people. Like, brother, give somebody the, the old crown that's fucking 40. Let's stop voting for people that are fucking 83.
Mr. Beast off as a perennial.
I honestly though, when I think all the boomers die, I'm not like wishing I'm not saying saying they should or anything. I love a lot of boomers. My grandparents are boomers. When all the boomers go, I think the whole we're only gonna vote for old ass motherfuckers will slightly go away.
Vermin Supreme, who runs every cycle while wearing a shoe for a hat. Again, assuming he continues making YouTube videos up until this point, criticize Jimmy for his lack of political experience and will write him off as unserious. They'll argue that Jimmy's experience as a YouTuber will not translate over to being a good world leader. But then again, America has had an entertainer to the presidency pipeline. California elected Hollywood actor Ronald Reagan to the governorship, and then later the country elected him to the White House. Even more,
wasn't Arnold the governor of California?
Amazingly, America elected Donald Trump directly to the presidency, who, unlike his 44 predecessors, held no office prior. It's impossible for pundits at times to 100% accurately predict the next election cycle, much less predict a cycle decades away. Who knows? Mr. Beast might not even run for the presidency because of the time he needs to allocate to the campaign, as well as the years of planning in advance. Winning the presidency would also require Jimmy to sacrifice 4 years of his life at the minimum, and if he wants to seek re-election, another 4 on top of that. The job itself, already hard to earn, will require lots of energy and stress. By the end of Jimmy's term, he could wound up with
I mean, no lie though, the stress Jimmy deals with as a creator is probably harder. Like, he's the biggest creator in the world. The stress he has from that better prepares him for presidency than the stress of like an Idaho governor.
with a lot of gray hair. But Jimmy's
Definitely not. You think the Iowa governor, I'm not talking about Cali. You think the Iowa governor deals with more stress on a daily basis than Mr. Beast? I would have this argument for 4 hours. Does he have a lot of responsibilities? Yeah. Mr. Beast runs like, I don't know, 50 fucking channels and gets so much shit he gets more shit than some genuine senators. The amount of people that fucking just diss him every day for no reason. He would be locked in.
smart. Like for his buried alive or no eating video, he'll consult with the veterans in the field. He'll have meetings with the best campaign strategists, consultants, and organizers he can find before making a decision. Already, he's been in some sort of political conversations. He's friends with those in politics, including former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger and billionaire Elon Musk.
We're not going to call Arnold a fucking politician.
He's been on a poker show with Senator Ted Cruz, and his curing blindness videos sparked political dialogue. While any presidential election in the 2040s is decades away, the grounds for a potential Mr. Beast presidential campaign is constantly being built, whether Jimmy knows it or not. Everything Jimmy's doing across the country, opening a Mr. Beast restaurant in New Jersey to giving money to strangers in California, is setting up the groundwork for Mr. Beast.
Wow, I remember this video, dude.
President. The people whose lives have been touched by him will be his most loyal supporters. And if Jimmy wins, it will also pose further interesting questions. Can an independent president work with such a partisan Congress on passing legislation? Will he improve America's image in the world? But the question for now remains, will Mr. Beast run?
I would be such an asshole. If I was president, oh my god, I would have an individual meeting with every senator. I swear to you. That'd be like the first thing I would do. I would talk to every I would be like, let's have a one-on-one for the next fucking month. I would talk to every single senator, every single House rep, and I'd be like, bro, stop. You gotta lock in here, buddy. Okay? You gotta stop swaying for your fucking party. Vote for what you think. Stop voting for re-elections, because that's all they do. That's all the little 300 gremlins do that are in fucking office, is they vote for what will get them another term. They don't vote for what they actually believe.
This is endgame. Additionally, if he agrees to mount such an ambitious bid, is the influence
I'd vote for you. I would never want to be president. I would never win, and I would never want to be president. That job would suck.
that Mr. Beast has now, plus what he accumulates in the future, enough to overcome the two-party system? Only time will tell for Jimmy Donaldson.